Hey guys, Pred here. Check it out. I have a new deck profile for you guys. I finally finished the Gate Guardian deck. You would not believe how hard it was to get a Prisma from my friends at Locals. Just saying. I love those guys, but dang, it was hard. Thankfully one of them had some, so. Anyway, let's get into it. First, I'll run 2 Sun God the Thunder, 2 Kazijin, sorry, and 2 Suijin. They all have the same effect. When they are targeted for an attack, they can switch that monster's attack straight to 0. Next up, we have the Field Spell Searcher, Shadow Ghoul. This card is really cool. Not only does it search your Gate Guardian field spell, but while it's in the graveyard, if a battle is conducted no matter who's attacking, you can banish this card from your graveyard and automatically destroy your opponent's monster. Next up, we got Labyrinth Heavy Tank. This card can actually be normal summoned without a tribute, which is pretty cool. Just like in the good old days before they figured out the actual rules of the game. Anyway, this card has a unique ability that lets you search out a piece of the Gate Guardian that's banished or in your deck and place it in your spell and trap card zone. Next up, we got Elemental Hero Prisma. Self-explanatory, you send a piece of the Gate Guardian to your graveyard, this is treated as that piece. And for the last monster, 3 Ash Blossom. Because Ash is good. You always need some hand traps. Except in Danger Dark World. That deck needs straight gas, in my opinion. Anyway. For the spells, we have Labyrinth Wall Shadow. This field spell has the same effect as Labyrinth Heavy Tank, to where it searches a piece from the banished or deck and places it in your spell and trap card zone. And it also has a Floodgate effect. Monsters cannot attack unless their original level is 5 or higher. Which is pretty cool because that affects all monsters, I believe. And at the start of your opponent's battle phase, you can automatically target and destroy one monster with less than 1600 attack. And that search part is actually a soft one, so if you have other copies, or you can get other copies, boom, you get more pieces. Next up, we got A Hero Lives. Pay half your life points, summon Prisma from your deck. Fusion deployment, you reveal any fusion monster from your extra deck, and you can summon a card that's specifically listed as one of the materials from that fusion onto the field. Of course, it also locks you into fusions for the rest of that turn. For some draw power, we got Sacred Sword of the 7 Stars. This lets you banish a level 7 monster from your hand or field to draw 2 cards. Next, we got Double Tag, a Wind and Thunder, sorry. With this card, you can target and destroy one card your opponent has, and it has a banish effect, allowing you to get one piece that's banished back to your hand. Next up, we have 2 Foolish Burial Goods, mostly to send this and a certain trap card to the graveyard. Now that's it for the spells. For the traps, I run 3 Infinite Impermanents. You can activate this card in your hand if you control no other cards, and it targets one card in the field and negates one monster in the field and negates its effects. But if you place it face down and flip it face up, every spell and trap card after this card's activation that's played in that column is automatically negated on both sides. Next up, for some control, I realized literally all the monsters you summon are different types, so I decided to play There Can Only Be One. Just to limit my opponent, and since it doesn't hurt me, why not, right? And for the final trap, we got Prey of the Jirai Gumo. This trap also becomes a monster upon activation, but you can only activate it in a column that you don't control a monster. So once summoned, you have the ability to destroy any monster your opponent has in that column. So it's kind of like how they did in the anime where they placed it in the maze. And it has the same effect as the Thunder and Wind spell. You can banish it, search out one of your pieces back to your hand. Alright, that is it for the main deck. This is a 40 card main deck. Now for the extra deck. I run 3 of the combined Gate Guardian. This card is really awesome and strong AF. Basically, with this card out, up to thrice per turn, yes it says thrice, any card that would target your cards, you can negate and destroy. And if this card happens to leave the field due to an opponent's card effect, you can summon basically one of the smaller fusions from your extra deck, ignoring the summoning conditions. Next up, we have the main one you want to try to get out first. Get Guardian Wind and Water. This card is a spell trap negation up to twice per turn, and when this card leaves the field due to the opponent's card effect, you can summon one of the monsters that was used to summon it from the random zone. Next up, we got Get Guardian of Thunder and Wind, and my cat is behind the camera. Anyway, Thunder and Wind is basically your spell trap searcher, and again, just like the other pieces, when it leaves the field, you can search out. Will you get out of here? Meh. Sorry about that. My cat is curious. Alright, where was I? Oh yeah. When this card leaves the field, you can search out a piece that was used to summon it from your band zone and summon it directly to the field. And for the final Gate Guardian, we got Gate Guardian of Thunder and Water. Or Water and Thunder, sorry, I mixed them up. The same thing, anyway. With this card out up to twice per turn, you can reduce the attack points of monsters on the field, one monster on the field down to 0. And again, when it leaves the field, you search out a piece from your band zone and summon it. Honestly, in my opinion, the one you want to get out first is Wind and Water. After that, you try to summon the combined one. With both these on the field, it's very hard for your opponent to make a comeback. This card is basically only in certain conditions. It does come in handy every now and then. But like I said, these two are the main ones you want to try to get out. Combined and Wind and Water. And now, I just threw in some generic links, to be honest with you. Ones I thought would work with this deck. So anyway, first up we got this dude, Pit Knight earlier. I threw him in because he's a link too. He's mostly there for link climbing, to be honest with you. Next up, I run a Nightmare package. We got Nightmare Phoenix. When this card is summoned, you can discard one card, destroy a spell and trap on your opponent's field. And if it happens to be co-linked with something, co-linked is when there's two link monsters adjacent to each other and they have arrows pointing to each other. But when it's co-linked, after you use the effect, you get to draw one card. All the Nightmares have that co-linked effect. Next, we got Nightmare Unicorn. Discard one card, bounce a monster back to the deck. And again, if it's co-linked, you draw one card. For the final card, we got Nightmare Griffin. Basically, this card is like an Omni Negate. With this card out, if there's nothing pointing to a monster, no link pointing to a monster, then that monster can't use its effects. The effects are negated, including this. So you have to summon this to a zone the link monster points to. So you gotta be careful with that. For the last two, I run Unchained Abomination. This card has like multiple destruction abilities. First off, when a card is destroyed your opponent controls, this effect kicks in, destroying another card. And at the end phase, it destroys a card in your opponent's turn. And for the final card, we got Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax. This is just like a massive boss monster that's really hard to get out for most decks. Alright, that's it for the Gate Guardian deck profile. I hope you liked it. Please subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Later!